Ladies and gentlemen, this is Yuriy with Moving Sales Professionals for yet another episode of our podcast. Today we have James Hatfield with LiveSwitch joining us today. How are you, James?
I'm doing great, Yuri. Thanks for having me on the podcast today. I'm excited about it.
Great. Thank you for joining us. So, I don't know how many people know about LiveSwitch, so let's get a little bit more information from you. So tell me about LiveSwitch. What does the company do? How did you get into the moving industry?
Good question. Okay, so LiveSwitch is a 14-year-old company, founded by two brothers, and we have done all things in video and stuff that you didn't even know you were looking at our stuff. If you were watching TV, if you watched the WWE wrestling when we had they had the virtual fans in the stands, watching and cheering on during COVID. We did over 100 episodes with the WWE. If you've used different products with video under the hood, that's us. And so how in the world did I get involved in the moving industry is a great question. Well, it's kind of a unique story, Yuri. I have been working with the chief of police in Washington, D.C. to reinvent the 911 phone call. And we're still doing that. It's just the government takes a little bit longer than you might like.
Don't we all know that?
Don't we? But it's been neat talking about next gen policing. What will happen in the future is when you make a phone call, what's your emergency? The text will be sent to your phone. You can click a link, allow the camera, and point it right at the emergency. So that way, the police car, or the fire truck, or emergency medical can see your video on the way there. So not just audio anymore, but video. And so we started inventing that, and I started talking to folks that have been in the FBI or police force for a couple decades, and now they're taking care of big arenas around the country. And so I got involved with one of the arenas in Memphis, Tennessee, and he loved it. He's like, "This is great. This is going to help." And he said, "James, I have a really stupid question I want to ask you." I was like, "Go ahead." He's like, "Can I just send a text to my guy across the arena so I don't have to jump in the golf cart and ride over there, and he can show me when the trash cans fall over?" And I said, "Yes, sir, AD. You absolutely could use it that way." And so that was our magic moment. And we started talking to different industries. We started actually with storage before moving, but as you know, Yuri, a lot of storage facilities have a moving company tacked on.
Right.
We found the movers were really interested in this text to connect technology, and there we go. This is how our paths crossed. And now we've been with the moving industry. We're the new kids on the block, but we've gotten to meet wonderful folks like yourself. And it's been a lot of fun seeing how we can reinvent the moving industry.
Well, that's awesome. That is awesome. I always like to hear about innovation. Obviously, for us, this podcast is a new venture, but it's certainly something that we're warming up to every single day that we're doing it. So it's great. So why now? Why do you think more moving companies are meeting with the clients and prospects by video now more than before?
Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the chief. Chief police was like, "James, why doesn't this already exist already?" I was like, "You know why? Because these smartphones that are in everybody's pocket weren't in everybody's pocket not too long ago. So we can start taking advantage of the technology that is in your pocket." And so this is why now. It's because we have the infrastructure to do it. And it just makes sense. So I think that's a big part of why this is starting to catch on, amongst other reasons why you would want to use video in your moving business.
Okay. So tell me, if I was one of your clients, for example, how would I use LiveSwitch and how would it impact me?
Correct.
So, what would it do for my business as a moving company owner?
No problem. I talk to owners every day. A number of different things. Imagine you're in Washington, D.C. I'll keep picking on Washington, D.C. And traffic is brutal. And if you like to do in-person estimates, you drive out, hustle through the traffic, spend a good 30 minutes both ways or longer, and you don't even know if you're going to win the bid. And we know that the first to bid usually can get it. So why not use video instead, where you can text a link, and there is no downloads, there's no apps. It doesn't matter if you're on a Mac, a PC, an iPad, an iPhone, Android tablet, we don't care. As long as you have a browser and a camera and you connect it to the internet, whether Wi-Fi or over cellular, you're good to go. And you just click the button, allow the camera, and now we're talking, right? And you can walk me through the house, the apartment, the office, whatever you're going to be moving, and you can record the entire session, which is great for disputes because they didn't tell you about those 300 boxes that you had to move when you got there, right?
Right.
You never heard that one before, right?
No, of course not.
No, never. And so now it's on video. Second to that, it's also when you're in a bidding situation, it's a lot harder to tell somebody no when you're looking at them, rather than just over the phone. And you can win a lot of business, as you know,
Right.
over the phone. It's just another layer, and they can see you. This is having. Now we're not in the situation, but if you were, maybe a single mother or a woman, at home waiting for someone, it can be intimidating. The movers tend to be pretty strong people, as you know, so they can be intimidating, not to us, but to others. And so some people can feel a little bit safer that way because they don't know the moving company yet. It's a very vulnerable time for families, and so that adds another layer to it as well. And of course, because it's just the nature of what we live in, right, Yuri? People got to have it now. There's
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
waiting around. Oh, I'm stuck in traffic. I'll be there in 10 minutes. I'm like, hey, I've got the kids I got to go pick up from preschool. No more. It's just click, connect, go. So it's convenient.
Yeah, that's a great thing. And one of the things we're going to do for us too is we're going to be adding a tab on our page that's going to allow you to access to LiveSwitch through our website as well, so you guys can check it out that way. But of course, we're going to put all the links below this podcast, so you'll be able to access it that way as well. So tell me, there's other video platforms that are out there. So how are you different from other products, from your competitors? Why should I choose you versus somebody else?
Yeah, why not just use FaceTime, right? Or
Right.
WhatsApp? Why
Why
not?
not?
It's already on the phone. A lot of different reasons that where it makes sense. So of course we know a lot of folks start with FaceTime, and we always lovingly say you're going to graduate to the next piece here. But it's not always convenient to have all your customers have your FaceTime. Sometimes the customers aren't always so polite, right? Especially if something happens on the move, right? Or
Or
have a
friendly.
claim. Yeah, they might not be so happy. So through our platform, you have a different phone number, right? So there's step one. Two is when you're using FaceTime, put yourself in the person being moved shoes, right? They have to walk around that house, and if they have elderly eyes, like my glasses keep getting thicker every year, that FaceTime of myself is very small on my phone. So it's hard for me to like point it and see it. So with our technology, we made the person being moved's camera take the entire screen, except for a little piece where they can see the moving company or the salesperson or whomever's on with them. And that way, because they're going to be your eyes walking around, the house. Like as an example, what if you got to move a gun safe, right? You might want to go and get the serial number off the gun safe to look it up to see the weight of that gun safe. Well, what's really nice about the video is I use my big monitor when I'm doing these calls. So I can see the serial number that much better. It's even better than being in person. So there's a lot of different advantages of using video with LiveSwitch over FaceTime. Let's talk about recording, right? All that recording, you're going to max out your phone pretty quickly. And what if it's one of your staff members who decides they don't want to work here anymore? Well, they're taking all those recordings with you because we store all these recordings in one central spot. You can go to them. You can put that link right in your CRM if you're using CRM, or if you've got a Google Sheet, or however you're running your business. And so you have a record of everything there. So storage is a big thing. Quality of the video, we run a much higher quality than any of the competitors. We built the engine under the hood, so being able to see it crispy clear is helpful. And if it's FaceTime, what if your prospect doesn't have an iPhone? And do you want to run all your bids off your phone? Sometimes on computer. So there's a lot of different reasons, Yuri, why it makes a lot of sense, and it's quite affordable too. So that's another big piece.
Okay, great. Now, you have said that you're relatively new to the industry.
Yes.
So what are some things that you've learned about moving companies and how they operate that is different from other industries?
Okay, a number of things. I was shocked to see how much relationships matter in moving across other moving companies. We see how well networked other moving companies are across the country, learning from each other, joining masterminds, going to podcasts. I was shocked at how connected everybody was. So that was one. Like one person, oh, I know that, and then all of a sudden
Oh,
you know
yeah.
everybody.
It's a very small niche, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So that's one. Two, I really appreciate the hardworking. I see a lot of folks. It's almost like there's two generations, right? The guys that have been doing it forever. I've been running this business for 40 years. I know everything. I can tell you everything about it. And then you got the next generation coming in, and they're really forward thinking, and they're thinking about. And I'm not saying. In fact, I've had a number of folks who've done it 30 years. I'm like, this is fantastic, and they're wonderful customers. Then there's the other demographic that are younger. They grew up with technology. They totally get it. And when I start saying like, hey, virtual surveys, oh yeah, we've been to look into that. So it's just interesting across where the moving industry is headed and where it will probably be in a different spot in the next 10 to 20 years from now. I mean,
Yeah, I hear you. It's kind of. I mean, I'm definitely I guess on a younger part. I mean, I'm only going to be 40 next month in March here, so I'm just hitting that big number, right? But it's kind of the same thing. My advertising guy Paul, he said to me, "So, what do you think about podcasts?" I'm like, "Let's do it." That literally took 2 seconds and then take convincing, So that was it. Yeah, and it's working. It's working. It's great. It's fun. So
your
I
show
love to have you guys,
is getting a
all of
lot
you
of
guys
traction.
on. So I think it's you get to meet a lot of people, and it's definitely interesting for sure. So what's next for LiveSwitch? How can listeners contact you and learn more?
Sure.
What's next?
Let's start with the easy one. How do we get to us? LiveSwitch.com. You go to LiveSwitch.com. We have everything you want to learn about the product called LiveSwitch Contact, videos. You can connect with the team if you want a demo and really you want to try it. Once you try it and see how like, oh man, I was an experience it. That's when people start. I've had people run around the office, like they'll toss the phone to someone in the office, like run down to the warehouse. I want to see this thing, and they're like messing with it. It's a hoot. We're having a lot of fun. And you get a demo from anyone on my team. They're fabulous. We're a laid back group and enjoy meeting folks. So go to liveswitch.com, check us out. And what's next for us? We love this industry. So what's next is to meet everybody. You can expect to see us at conferences. You can expect us. I mean, I've just been on with a ton of these presidents of different associations in different states. We've been connecting with folks like yourself, Yuri. It's been fantastic. So you're just going to see us more often and get to know who we are. We move quickly. We change products quick. I think that's surprised a lot of our customers when they have feedback. We implement that into the technology. Even the little details, like I was telling you, where we make the person being moved screen full screen. That was a recommendation from one of our customers, and we have more coming. Like a new innovation we just put out 2 weeks ago was this video Dropbox feature a customer came up with. They're like, "Hey James, sometimes people being moved aren't at home. They're at the office and they call us. I can't send them a text if they're in the office. So why don't we just have it where they text it and when they get home, they can click the link and self-guided tour." Like that is genius. So we built it. We are builders. So we've been building for 14 years. So you can expect
Yeah,
the
that
technology to get better, us to listen a lot. We do a lot of focus groups with our customers. They have the answer. We always say they have the answer to the test. Our customers know their customers the best. And so as long as we keep listening, serving, moving quick, we see a lot of more time in the moving industry for us. We're having a blast.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's always great to hear somebody that's forward thinking and innovation is, yeah, it's the way of the world. Is
Mm-hmm.
definitely where we want to move with everything in general. So, James, once again, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you
I'm
for having me.
sure as more innovations come up and when you guys come up with new things that are going to be revolutionary in our industry, please, please, please let me know, and I'll make
I
sure to
will.
have you guys on so they would hear it from us and through us first. We'd love
Of
to
course.
be on the cutting edge of technology and everything else in general. So it's a pleasure to have you on. So guys, please reach out to LiveSwitch and see what they can do for you. And as always, the world moves on its own. Let the professional move yours for you. Thank you for joining us for our podcast and have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon.